We close enough?
Look at this. We have Caroline Dubois. I am so happy to be joined. I've missed you loads.
I
Caroline,
know.
how have you been?
I've been very well, thank you. And yourself?
Listen,
You've
all
been
the
killing it. You've been smashing it. You've been doing well. You've been getting about now.
I've been waiting for you. I've been checking your stories, seeing when you're fighting. It's like, what's going on with Caroline? I've seen you ranting on Twitter. You go for everyone's neck on there. You don't care, do you?
Listen, I'm not afraid of anyone,
I
so
know.
yeah.
I know. But let's talk about this fight. Talk about why you've been out. Let's start there because I'm one of these that's like, well, when is Caroline fighting? And you know, sometimes in boxing, it's a little bit secretive. You don't know what's going on. You're like, am I being paranoid? What's happening? Is she injured? Is she hit her foot? What's going on?
No, definitely. I felt like this. I have been quite inactive, but it wasn't through any fault but my own. I was supposed to fight on the Chris Billum undercard,
Okay.
and unfortunately, literally on fight week, I think it was 2 days before fight week, I got ill. I got a stomach infection, and I was out for 10 days. I was so unwell. I couldn't move. So it's just one of them ones you have to think about. I can fight anytime. There's no rush. I'm 23. There's no rush. I'm not fighting against 5 o'clock. It's just take your time and just enjoy it.
How's it been going in the gym? And I've got to say, a massive congratulations to Chris Billum Smith. He put on an absolute show at Selhurst.
You
So,
showed out.
yeah, he did. I mean, talk to us about even him, like the preparation leading up to that fight. I know you guys are all close in the gym. You back each other. Can you pass on my sincere regards to Shane?
Oh,
Shane is, I'm waiting for him to literally come for my neck.
oh yeah.
You know, before
You-
like the fight, he
yeah.
said, I'm not giving you any interviews until Chris beats him, and then I'll give you the first one. So I'm waiting for the Shane McGuigan punishment.
I think you're gonna get it. He's gonna put it on you. So yeah, stay
deserve
safe
it.
for that. Stay for that one. Stay tuned for that one, guys.
But talk to us about Chris then, how he prepared for that
Yeah.
fight, and obviously he got the victory, and still.
Yeah, I think the one thing that stood out for me throughout watching him in camp was his calmness leading up to it. I was shocked. I was shocked how calm he was. Like a week out from the fight, he wasn't stressing. He was laughing on the pads. He was just having fun, and it just looked like he was there. And I think the thing that I had that really swayed the fight in Chris's favor for me was his experience. He's fought Lawrence Okoli. He was the underdog there. He fought Masterneck.
Masternak, yeah.
And it's like one of those fights like why are you taking such a hard fight if you're trying to go to the that's a hard fight. Masterneck was tough, and I'm telling you, Masterneck would have given any of them guys a run for their money. So he's challenged himself against him. He's fought Zhao Jai. He's fought really tough opponents, and that gives him confidence. That gives him the belief that I've been there, I deserve to be here, and I can do it. And I think going into the Riapo fight, he was thinking he beat him the first time. Unfortunately, he didn't get the decision, so he already knows he can do it. It's just like now he knows he can. He's 100% certain that he can do it, and it was just confident. From the moment the bell gone, he was on game. He was on game.
What was it like watching that from ringside when you saw like the rounds go on? We saw Richard may have started it stronger, but then we started to see him fade, and Chris was just literally, it was almost like, boxing, Caroline, you studied a sport. It was almost like Rich was smothering his own work, but Chris was able to establish all of the work, the jabs, the hooks. He was able to establish everything he was doing. So you're sat ringside seeing that. What are you like thinking?
I was shocked by how calm and collected
Okay.
he was, and it's something that I was seeing all camp, but I wasn't paying too much attention to it. And then it just all came together on the night. I think it was just a combination of everything coming together. Timing, he didn't get it the first time, but this is his time now, and now he's pushing on to bigger fights. So it's like it's one step at a time, and it just all came together. It was like a puzzle just slowly coming together, and that night it was his night. It was supposed to be Riapo's. It was at Selhurst. Everything was in his favor, but
Set up.
it was Chris's night.
And it's going to be your night because we keep that positivity going on Saturday, August the 3rd in Barnsley. Talk to us about your opponent, Caroline. What do you know about her? And obviously we know what your intentions are, but tell us about your opponent. Let the viewers know a little bit about who you're going up against.
So I'll be fighting undefeated Maria Moneo, tough South American, Argentinian. So she's just gonna expect any stereotype of the South American fighters. That's how I rolled into one. Game as they come, effort. All I can think of is effort. Every round, every second, she's gonna bring effort. She's gonna try for every round, every second. I think skillfully maybe she hasn't got it, but she's got experience. She's got self belief. She's got engine and strength and physicality. She's a lot older than me, so she's gonna have that edge and the physicality side. So it's just about dealing with that. I know I'm a better fighter than her. I know I've got better skills. I know I've got more punch power, and it's just about being able to put it together on the night.
You know something you mentioned there, Caroline, and explain it. I always say I'm a fool in this sport, and it's the fighters that teach me. So I learn from you. You talk then about experience versus skill. Now we can go back to Saturday night and we can talk about Derek Chisora and Joel Joyce. That experience that Derek had being in the ring 48 times outshone Joel Joyce, but you said she's experienced but not necessarily skilled.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that difference, Caroline.
I think, in terms of if you look at her and you look at me and you were to judge us on skills and the ability to put it together and the punch variation and the foot ring generalship, I think you would say Caroline Dubois, me, has got that, in the bag, and I think it's going to show. I think you just have to go into those kind of fights and realize it's not about what she does. It's not about what she brings. It's about what I bring. I bring skill, power, ability, natural ability, athleticism, and I have to put that together, bring it together.
When you look at her as an opponent, do you see that there's any... I mean, I get it, you can say that there's a risk with fighters, but when we look at maybe the female division, the risk on getting knocked out is slightly lower.
Yeah.
So when we look at the skill base, we know you've stopped fighters in there. Do you see that as a similar outcome for this opponent?
I'm going to try, I always try. Not necessarily go looking for it, but I always try to be excited.
Caroline.
And I know.
You know you're going to go looking for that knockout.
I try not to. But
it's pointless you saying that. We know what Caroline's like.
I try to bring what the audience want to see, and that's knockouts, And maybe that's harsh, but it's true, People criticize people who just box and they don't have power.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I always try to bring that, even though it has a female. It's a lot harder to do because we only fight 10 2-minute rounds. A man will fight 36 minutes, we fight 20. So that's almost halving the time that we have to do the same job. But I always try to be exciting, and I think she's going to run into me, run into my punches. So we'll have to see. I believe I can break her down and get her out there, but we'll have to see.
Are you the type of fighter that studies your opponents hard, Caroline?
Not at all. I feel like it's too much. I feel like when you do that, you're focusing too much on what they do and not much on what you do. And I know, as my personality, I obsess over things a little bit. And if I was watching her, I would just be thinking about all the things that she does and making it better than what she is. I would look at her pressure and be like, oh my God, it's so much. But it isn't really, because who is she fighting? Or I'll be looking at her power and how she's dominated opponents, and I'll be like, oh my God, she's so strong. But I'll be like, yeah, but so are you, And I feel like if I just watch them, I'd obsess over them too much, and it's not about them, it's about me.
When you're getting ready to go in the ring, and I need to ask you this because obviously I've watched you from the beginning of your career. What are you thinking? When you're in the changing rooms, you're warming up on the pads or however you decide to warm up. The cameras are sort of like, they're already starting to watch you.
Yes.
You might even have a pre-fight, how you feeling, which is just pathetic because I don't know how you're supposed to feel before a fight, but whatever. The music comes on and you are starting to, I don't know, it just almost feels like a lonely walk to the ring. But tell me how you feel. What is that kind of emotion leading up to when you get in the ring?
I think the hardest part that I've felt is when you just come out the change room and your coach and that goes one way,
right,
and you go the other way.
Yep.
And that's the lonely bit, when you're walking out to the ring and it's like, okay, you're there. You realize that this is an individual sport. You realize that your coach can help you, your teammate can scream their heads off, but it's you in that ring. It's you and your opponent, and no one else is going to save you. No one else is going to protect you and be able to help you. It's you. So I enjoyed the ring walk, the moment when you come out, but it's that bit where you're just out the change room and you're walking to the ring walk. That's the hardest part.
I'm trying to visualize that because another bit where I tend to get goosebumps when I watch the fight and everyone's in the ring, your team's in the ring, your opponent's team's in the ring, you go into the centre, everyone's like taking off your robe, your gum shield's going in, you might be getting the final Vaseline on your face, they're having those motivational words. You go into the centre, the referee reads out those final instructions of what he's told you in the dressing room, And then to me, it almost slows down as you guys walk back to your corners, and I see the coaches walk out, your cut man walk out, and then it's like, it's just before you hear that 10 seconds out. What is that feeling like? I always want to know what you guys are thinking, because I'd be on the floor. I'd be so nervous.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to get used to. I remember
Okay.
when I first had my first ever fight as an amateur when I was 11. I remember being so excited to fight all up into the fight. But as soon as it got onto the day and as soon as it was that moment, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. It was scary, it's scary. But now I've gotten used to it, I've
Okay.
embraced it, and it's like, I just tell myself, let's go, ring the bell, get it on, let's go. And it's like, you just have to tell yourself, even though you're nervous, say you're excited, say you're ready, even if you
But
feel unready,
yes.
just tell yourself because if it was a spar, you'll be fine. If you were training in the gym, you'll be fine. You won't be afraid. You can do 10, 15 rounds. It won't be a problem. But now, because we're in front of the telly and we're in front
Okay.
of the cameras and
It's
the
kind of
people,
superficial.
you're making
Yeah.
it more than what it is. So just try to tell yourself that it's okay. You're ready. You're ready. And that's what I just try to do.
I like that. I've got to touch on Claressa Shields on the weekend, and I want your opinion because I know, you've always had that admiration for Claressa Shields as a fighter. Obviously, she's fought at heavyweight now. I think she had just a little bit of a disagreement because she's self-entitled, the greatest woman of all time. Now, I want your opinion on that because at the end of the day, you're somebody that's coming up the ranks. You're somebody that sees these ladies as the top of the division.
Yeah.
You look at them maybe for inspiration, and even one day, if it happens, you could end up fighting them because the women's division is so fluid when it comes to weights. You guys can move up and down. So when you look at like somebody like Claressa Shields, what do you see?
I see confidence. I see from what I see is I see the struggle that she had as a child, and I think
Yes.
for a long time she's never been given. I think when you grow up, I'm not gonna speak too much like I know what she's been through, but I feel like from what I know, from my experience, I think when you grow up and you've never been given, never been given anything, you don't get given maybe the attention you crave as a child. You never been given, anything. Like you have to work for every single scrap that you get. When you're finally in a position where you have everything, it's like I want to tell the world that I am the best. I want to let everybody know. I'm not gonna be shy because when I had nothing, it was not given. So there's no reason for me to be shy. And she's got that confidence to know from where she's come from that I deserve to be here. I work my ass off to be here. So I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to make myself small. I'm going to make myself as big as possible. I'm going to make myself as visible as possible. And that's what she's doing. And I respect her for it. I applaud her. And I feel like I understand. I understand what she's going and the struggle that she feels like she's gone through. And it's like, it's not like she's a spoiled kid and she's just been given stuff. She's worked for it. So
She's had to fight for a seat at the table,
she's
hasn't
had to
she?
fight for that seat, and it's not been given. I think she spoke openly that after the Olympics, there's that expectation that you're gonna get given the attention, the respect. She didn't get that, so she had to go to another Olympics, and then when she turned pro, it was like you have to do so much just to get what you feel like you deserve. So, and it's about that. You have to be about that, and she is. So, respect to her.
We love that, and that's what I do like about you. That you're somebody that will support the women in the division. Claressa Shields has always openly supported yourself as well as you go on your journey. Caroline, how have you found it so far? I'm going to end it on a positive. We're looking out and we can see practically the whole horizon of London. So when you look at that and you look at your career so far, what do you see?
I think it's great to look back and look how far I've come. I feel like I'm still so early in my career. Sometimes it's hard to do, and sometimes you get caught up in the moment.
Yep.
I'm happy of my progress. I'm happy of my what I'm doing and what I've done so far. So I'm proud of myself in a sense. I just know that there's so much more to come, and there's so much more I want to achieve, so much more I want to do. I want to impact female boxing. I heard Eddie Hearn say female boxing is kind of on a decline. It had that massive boom and then it's kind of slowed down. And I feel like I get what he's saying, but I disagree. I think it's a person, it's a face, it's fresh blood in a sense. And I feel like I can be that. I want to be that. I want to be that face. Female boxing that people recognize and accept. and I feel like I'm on the horizon of making it happen, and I want to just make sure it happens.
And I love that. And I'll end that there because you said you want to be the face that people recognize and accept. And just like Claressa Sheilds, you may not be accepted, but you're going to be there regardless.
Exactly.
We love it. Listen, all the best on Saturday night. I'll be cheering you on as per usual. And what a pleasure to see you, Caroline. Phenomenal shape. Guys, you know what to do. Follow Caroline Dubois. Follow her journey. Check her out on X as well because she's ready to go at anyone that tries to stick it on her.
Exactly.
Until fight night.
Exactly. Thank you.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.